To the fire.
Oh, yeah.
What's time got to say, baby?
Ooh. She lives.
Oh, yeah.
She said, ska.
Oh, she's so happy.
She's so proud.
Storm's like, oh, you're screwed now. Like, Hulk of Wakanda.
Oh.
Boom. You guys are dead.
Ooh, ouch.
A Phoenix Claw.
Talons. Put this on. Ooh, too tight.
Episode's over. Episode's over.
They all fall from the sky?
I know.
That guy signed up.
Oh, great job, Russians.
Yeah.
You did it. Oh. Okay, well, that wasn't too far of a drop. I'm sure those guys
they're
will be
fine.
Those will be
Their
fine.
robot parts saved them.
Oh, well, okay. These are all dead. These are all
They're
dead
definitely
people.
dead.
Great
Tony's
work, Iron Man. You did
God.
nothing. Ooh.
Oh, we know who this is.
Get away from me.
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't know who these
I love
guys
these
are.
little
Yeah.
serpent helmets. Oh! That sounds funny. I don't think he's afraid of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not afraid of anybody. Look at him.
Heck yeah. Thank goodness they speak English in ancient Egypt. True. Let's go!
Brandon.
Welcome back to the after show here on the break room. This time for the finale of X-Men 97, episode 10, Tolerance is Extinction, part 3. Hit the graphic. Oh, baby. You know we have to talk about that cliffhanger ending. Another comic divergence? My source material. We'll get into those questions and more. I'm Brandon Barrick. Joining me today, she truly is the future incarnate. It's Jessica Clemons.
It's a great
That's the
passion
sound
impression.
of the future incarnate, baby. And also, he senses no need for you to be afraid. It's Tom Michelsen.
It's true, but I do sense a fear for tomorrow because there's no new X-Men after this for a while. So
I know.
I'm very afraid of what I'm going to do with my life. This is my whole personality now, X-Men 97. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Rewatching these 10 episodes of X-Men 97.
Yep, just on loop.
What
till
if
they come out
Disney
again.
goes bankrupt tomorrow?
I gotta do my part.
Finish.
We gotta help
They
Disney
better
out.
leak that script when we see that second season.
Yeah.
Some intern better run up in there and steal it like they did for Zack Snyder.
Well, we'll get into all the cameos we saw and what this ending means for the Phoenix, Apocalypse, and possibly Gambit. Could he come back? And what season 2 might look like. But before we get into all that, Jessica, kick us off with a little bit of a recap of this episode.
Anything for you. Xavier makes the decision to take over Magneto's mind using his abilities to restore powers back to Earth and the Prime Sentinels. This deals immense damage to Magneto's mind, trapping the two of them in a mind link where Charles hopes to restore Magneto's memory so he doesn't succumb to anger. I think I did this to you once.
We mind linked?
Yeah, and you were like, it was only tacos.
Yeah.
I said, okay,
There's
never
a lot
mind.
of tacos in my
Succumb
mind.
to anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all he
I
does.
succumb to anger. Hungry anger.
Hangry.
Have you heard this word, hangry? Have you heard that? Have you heard about this?
Oh my god, I hate you so much. We get a series of emotional scenes between the two men throughout the episode as they wrestle with their desires for mutant kind and their relationship to each other. The blue team in space watch over a healing Logan, while on Earth, Bastion commands the Prime Sentinels to escalate to the final phase of Operation Zero Tolerance, protect humans from themselves, aka eliminate humans. Classic villain stuff
Oh
right
yeah.
here.
We can't trust the crazy robot man?
Other than blowing up the moon, its second is like, This is right here. Blowing the moon, then this, and then it's taking the sun. On Earth, Mr. Sinister makes Cable reveal that he's failed 200 times at trying to save his mom, which I don't think I said 200, but I said it was a lot. I was like, I bet this man has been doing this like 500 times. 200 times he's been trying to save his mom.
Damn, that's... I would have tried 201. Just saying. Myself, I would. If it was my mom, I would have tried 201.
Is this 201? This attempt right here?
202. 202.
202.
I would have done 202 then.
Oh my
It was my mom.
God.
If it was my mom.
Price is Right rules. But when Bastion betrays Sinister and threatens to kill Cable, who rises up from the ashes, but Jean Grey. But she's in the Phoenix form.
Ooh, it's like a water phoenix too.
Yeah,
a little water, a little fire.
I love her.
Yeah.
And I will say, I did call this. I was like, you're not gonna end this first season without me seeing this goddamn Phoenix form.
Oh, they keep talking about her so much. I was showing her in the intro. Yeah.
I was like, it's not
Listen,
gonna go
saying
away.
Jean Grey is gonna turn into the Phoenix is the easiest bet to make.
Well,
in
not
the Marvel
okay.
universe.
Well, I
First
didn't
off,
think you do it, Brandon.
actually,
She's
I
done
don't
it
know.
about 1,000 times.
I haven't seen her do it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
She did. Well, she hasn't even been in the MCU.
Well, this kind
But
of
in the Fox universe,
They
you've
did
seen
it twice in the Fox. No, they did it twice in the
All
Fox.
I'm hearing is you're wrong.
They did it poorly both times.
She controls Bastion, saves the X-Men, and knocks out the Prime Sentinel, seemingly reverting them back to humans, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. She even rips out the mutant DNA from Sinister, making him an old man, and Morph gets their due by taunting him as he runs away in shame.
I'm itchy.
I'm ugly.
Morph did crack it up a little bit. They were like,
I think it's a pretty accurate.
they were like, it's a little old.
It's a little. Ow! Just wait till you see your penis, Sinister.
Also, why couldn't he go look into like the reflection of the water?
Yeah.
He beelined to Morph and was like, "Show me."
And
myself."
also, he asked the person who he's abused the most.
Because
Yeah.
Sinister
Why-
has
yeah.
panache. You know what I mean? That is going to the water is lame. Making the morphing person do it.
Morph
is
should have
great.
just made one of those blobfish, something even uglier.
Yeah.
And just
it's just Logan.
exactly.
Well, during the brief Prime Sentinel attack, we got cameos from all over the world. Some we've already seen, plus we saw Iron Man, Daredevil, Doctor Strange performing surgery. Do you think he tells the patient ahead of time, like, so we're gonna put you under on a little anesthesia. I'm gonna make an incision on your right side, and then I'm gonna tap into Eldritch magic.
Yeah, I'm gonna do interdimensional energy to then finish the.
Yeah. Do you
procedure.
think as a patient you could be like, no magic, please? I don't
Well, then
Can
he
you
show
opt
you
out
his
of that?
like crinkled hands.
Yeah.
And then you
No,
go,
I'm just like,
these?
or I could do.
Or you can let old Shaky have a turn into Organs, huh? How about that?
why did you call him that?
That's what he calls himself. To scare.
Old Shaky?
He does that to scare the
He
patients.
got
and
in a
don't-
car accident.
Yes, and he was talking on the phone while he was driving. Let's not forget that he was looking at documents while he was
distracted driving.
Distracted
I'm
driving.
not saying I'm that.
Anyways, we saw Doctor Strange breaking the Hippocratic Oath by using magic during surgery. We saw T'Chaka, T'Challa's dad. We saw T'Chaka as the Black Panther, the Dora Milaje, Cloak and Dagger, Omega Red, Crimson Dynamo, Dark Star, didn't even make the list. And of course, we saw mutants on Genosha, including Psylocke, North Star, Aurora, and Puck from Alpha Flight. Where's Sasquatch? Come on, dude.
He's gonna be a Marvel Snap.
Oh, hell
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
Hell yeah.
that makes sense.
This was Cameo City in the finale. Not to mention Peter being a little punk and not helping out
Oh
at
yeah, we'll get to that.
all. We'll get to that. I don't blame him. He's like, I'm not.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
Daredevil was doing the most, and Peter was just like, "Oh,
Peter's like,
what's that?"
Yeah, well, he's like, hey, I just got MJ back. I need like at least
like,
10
man,
more
Jay, we should
minutes.
get out of here.
10 more minutes to just hang out
can't
with
mess
her.
this one
I got,
up.
yeah,
Yeah, this one I
she's
cannot mess
staying
up.
with me. Yeah, I'm not keeping her out of my
Flash,
sight.
where you going? Let's hang out with Flash.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, my dudes. As the saying goes, you can't keep a robot-human hybrid down for long. As Bastion knocks down the team, rips off Cable's future tech arm, and assimilates with it, getting some wings so he can fly off to space with the goal of knocking down Asteroid M to wipe out Earth. A real Ultron move.
Yeah, quit hitting yourself. Quit hitting
Just
yourself.
as fine.
Yeah,
He is just
you would.
I
huh?
like the
Yeah.
goatee, though. I want mix the goatee with the wings. That's what I want to see.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Do not put a hot
Yeah.
man as the voice of a robot in the Marvel Cinematic Universe anymore. I'm so tired. James Spader and Theo James. How dare you? Of course I'm going to be attracted to them.
course.
That's insane.
Thanos, James Brolin.
No, not him.
Not him.
I'm not.
really?
It's weird. It's a
Oh, Josh
robot
Brolin
thing,
too.
not a
Not
skin.
James
Oh, I
Brolin.
see. It's a robot thing.
When it comes to skin, though,
Paul
it's
Bettany?
Cad Bane.
Call Bettany a little bit, or
Yeah, Paul Bettany.
okay, yeah,
Vision can
Vision,
get
nice,
it.
nice, Vision.
Vision can get it, folks. Xavier makes telepathic contact with Cyclops and Jean to let them know what's happening. And Cyclops' team jumps into action to defend Asteroid M's gravity core. They're not going to let it fall, folks.
Don't let me let you down.
Yeah.
Or let my asteroid down. That's when Rogue leads the team against Bastion, or Cyber Akuma, I like to call him, shouting, his name was Gambit, Chuga, remember it! Boom! Knocking him in the face, tears in her eyes. And that's when they take the fight out into space to the blue side of the moon, which is what we saw in the Shi'ar arc of the original animated series. That's when Roberto da Costa finally takes the name Sunspot and teams up with Rogue. As the fighting continues in space, King T'Chaka is meeting with the world leaders and urges President Kelly not to enact the Magneto protocols. But of course, he does anyway, much to Captain America's disappointment, which I was like, okay, Cap, you were letting us down a little bit earlier. I mean,
Cap and Iron Man being a couple of bitches, being like, yeah, shoot some missiles up there.
It's also worth noting that in one of Charles and Magneto's scenes here, we get a flash of Rogue on a boat in a vision with Magneto's children. We saw they might have been had shadows over them, but we saw Quicksilver, we saw Polaris, we saw Scarlet Witch. Exactly, we know who it is. Maybe this is a tease for season 2, where Magneto will have to deal with the regret of his past relationships. Maybe he feels bad for letting Wanda and Peter get raised by a cow woman. What do we think?
Where's that cow woman?
You know, Eric's not been a great dad.
Yeah, right. Maybe it's gonna tie into Guardians 3, confirmed.
Maybe.
That's
Get a little high
interesting.
evolution.
I wonder if it'll just be like as quick as they were on our team and they left. I was never their dad.
Right.
Yeah.
I was never their father.
It's interesting though, I think, where like this episode has had a lot of like looks between Rogue and Magneto, especially with Gambit out of the picture. It seems like that relationship is still going to factor into the next season.
Yeah.
We can get into some of that at the
Yeah,
end.
I mean, it's clear like Magneto's holding the torch, right? He's subconsciously like,
The fact that he sees her there,
Yeah.
yeah,
As a
exactly.
That's the
rescue for
saddest
her,
part.
a
That is
rescue
like
for her.
her noise is what made him look upon.
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, you're really in love.
He,
And
like,
she's in love with
he-
2 people, past
I
lives.
thought they were gonna cut to her on the outside of his body, like Eric.
Like
but then,
Inception
no, it's
style?
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe she is calling out.
I
in
think
real
she
time.
is, like, because he's laying there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I assumed it was not because she was just like, here's your seatbelt later on, but yeah.
In space, it's Jubilee who finally beats back Bastion. I was thinking about you the
Yeah,
entire
I thought
time
I was like,
during
this
this
is
scene.
Brandon's shot right
He
here.
Brandon-
tried
got
to
Yeah.
shit talk her, and she rightfully said, I hear it all the time. I hear you haters. Get out of my DMs. Plasmoids.
And yeah, she clips his wings, almost melting his face off, blasting him into the monument of the fallen Sentinel. Bastion thinks he has the upper hand when a Sentinel bursts through the ceiling of Asteroid M, but it's the rest of the X-Men minus Forge who's looking over Cable right now.
Cute.
Beast tries to stomp on Bastion with the Sentinel's foot, and the rest of the X-Men just stand there.
It's a long time.
They don't interfere, and it makes me so, because I was screaming at my computer because I was like, the Beast, someone help him.
Well, you know, this is the second time he's taken over a Sentinel, so they're probably like, he likes to do this. Let's let him have a
thing.
chance.
I thought
do his thing.
I thought the
and-
Sentinel was gonna explode with Beast in it. I was like, someone
Oh,
go.
God.
He's like, hello.
And he's like trying to
Anybody?
stomp on him, like, yee.
It was okay. But Cyclops sees the rest of the X-Men ready to fight and tells them all to stand down.
That's
Whatever the hell.
Kill him
And-
with kindness.
Nope, I hate this part. Instead of fighting, it's time to embrace the future. Blech. Throughout the episode, it seems like Bastion has held a lot of resentment and anger over not being accepted by Professor Xavier, or so he thought. Storm and now Cyclops plead with Bastion, saying his mother was the one who refused to let Bastion go with the professor. They extend a peace offering, and at that exact moment,
of
the
course.
nukes approach Asteroid M.
Thanks a lot, Iron Man and Captain America.
He even
Big help.
He even makes a comment like to Storm when he's choking her, like, "Are you trying to like reason
Plead
with me?
to my humanity?
Yeah, are you
Yeah.
trying to plead to my
I'm
humanity?
a robot. Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
It's,
But he wants to be a real boy. He wants to be
does.
a real boy so bad.
you know, he's just so hot.
He presents. He presents as human.
How
does
dare
not
he be
present
that
as
hot?
robot.
Yeah.
He has mommy issues. I can take care of that. Bastion's.
You can't change him. You can't
I can change him.
Bastion.
I can change him. I can change him. Maybe. Bastion says a great line in response to Jean.
Humanity would rather die than have kids like us.
Oof.
Which showcases how deep his self-hatred actually
Yeah.
goes.
That's when the missiles hit the gravity core. Boom! boom, it explodes. Jean creates a shield around the X-Men and Cyclops, which again, I'm like, dude, if Jean wasn't there, this whole team would have been wiped out. Yeah. Cyclops asks Bastion to join them, and that's the moment where it seems like maybe he will accept, but is seemingly lost in the blast. The world watches in shock as the asteroid comes crashing down, Sokovia, Age of Ultron style. People are looting. Peter Parker, Mary Jane, watching in horror, but he's not going to let her go. As we mentioned, he's going to make sure he stays right there, right next to her. Now he's got her back.
I mean, technically, this is now Meteor M. It's no longer Asteroid M. I would just like to clarify that.
Because it's whatever.
Yeah, okay.
An asteroid exists in space. A meteor enters the atmosphere.
Comet M before
A
that?
meteorite hits the ground. A comet. Now that's an interesting point you bring up, Tom.
I
Comet is a celestial body that has a tail and also has an orbit. An asteroid doesn't have like necessarily a set orbit.
Got it.
As far as I understand it.
Hear that, Marvel? You guys got it wrong.
Yeah, Rockstars has our own Carl.
They're fine. It is Asteroid M, but once it enters the atmosphere, it becomes meteorite or meteor.
All the journalists on air being like, I'm just receiving a transmission that it's actually meteorite. And we've
Now
all
Meteor M.
collectively
If it
said-
hits the ground, it becomes meteorite.
Oh, okay, Meteor M.
Meteor M right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the confusion that we all had in the middle of reading this.
This is like, we're done, Neil deGrasse Tyson, we're done.
We're done.
We get a classic blink and you'll miss it morph transformation as they transform into Reed Richards, stretching to hold on to the ship. Sunspot saves Jubilee, flying through space, but the rest of the X-Men are trapped on Meteor M.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. The X-Men realize that they can stop it from falling by staying together, working as a team, and they all play the hero card here. Not just Cyclops, who's ready to sacrifice everything.
This guy just wants out, dude.
Cyclops?
He wants out. He's like, my life is messy right now. He's like, no, Gene, you go. I got this. He's like, man, I'm gonna retire.
For a second,
change my name.
he lost Madeline and Jean for a second in the last
He's
episode.
like, I can't deal with this drama anymore.
Yeah, how many
Kids a
times did he
mess.
have to say goodbye to loved ones this season? Because he's had to say it a lot, and it's always through their mind.
Yeah.
They're always hey, we're not gonna physically be with you for a second, but I'm gonna tell you I'm about to die.
Right. At this point, he's just like, okay, sure, I won't see you again.
I want to go through and count how many times in this new show he goes, Gene, like the old one, to see if he does that.
God, he does that a lot.
They say their last goodbyes to those on Earth. Forge worrying about Storm, and Cyclops and Jean saying a telepathic goodbye to Cable, which definitely did not make Evan and Tom cry, because holy mackerel. That part, I mean, I was saying, me and Evan were talking about this earlier, I was like, I think definitely because I'm a dad, but still just watching that and seeing how, the things you didn't say and that you wish to say and that you wish you did better and all that stuff. It's all, man.
The mistakes you made, the sins of your father, you passed down to your child.
You guys are better than me. I was screaming, going, hurry up! We don't have time! It's crashing down! And you guys were having a full-on speech.
You should have made like a telepathic waitress come by and be like, you need more coffee, honey?
Want some Java juice? Yeah.
I was screaming about
Y'all better get some grits. We have the best grits on the Galapagos here.
I was watching like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar with that video. I was like breaking down like,
I wish. I was like, hurry up. I almost fast forward.
I was watching like Matthew McConaughey and True Detective, like. there's your.
I was watching
thumb, Brian.
Like him in the Lincoln commercial.
Let me get my phone.
I was like, all right.
Oh, no. Wait, now it's my turn. I was Matthew McConaughey and Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, yeah. That should be the gift.
Dramatic, I don't know.
A little bit.
No, Kevin.
Keep it in?
80s.
Take it out?
Have that be the intro. The show is to start with us going.
I did a
Keep it in, Evan. You got any Quaaludes, my guy?
I pulled a Mark
too hard?
Wahlberg
Went too
fear.
fear?
It hurt myself, dude. Ow.
Your dad beat me up.
Your dad beat me up.
Your dad beat me up. That movie when the dog's head comes
It
through
was
and
horrible.
just drops.
It was
That's
horrible.
great. I love that movie. Xavier finally breaks through to Magneto as he remembers who they are and he regains consciousness and uses his powers to slow the asteroid's fall. Truly, Magneto just flexing on these people. The world cheers as the asteroid ascends and then vanishes. Problem solved. I'm sure Iron Man and like Cap were like, oh, well, that worked out pretty well for us. We're just a couple of simps to the president.
Dodge
What's up with
meteor.
those dudes, man? 6 months later, after what the show and the people in this world are calling E-Day, Forge seems like he's taken residence in the X-Mansion. He's approached by Bishop, who reveals that they don't gotta find where the X-Men are. They gotta find when the X-Men are. Also, Forge, you let Bishop sneak right up on you. Like, my guy. invent some technology so that people can't sneak up behind you.
I was more like, they're lucky it was Forge who was there and not one of the other team, because I would have been like, you had a baby. What happened?
We
You
were
just
questioning where you went.
rolling in nonchalantly. Yeah, exactly. And
In my mind too, I was like, these two haven't met ever in time?
I mean, because they're friends in the future.
He knows
right?
future Forge, but this Forge
so this
doesn't
must be
know
the
him.
first time that young
Is this
Forge.
supposed to be the first time?
I think that this version of Forge doesn't
Yeah,
know
the young
Bishop yet.
right.
And he didn't ask that question. He was just talking to the stranger.
Well, he's also like, who the hell are you? And it's like, you guys are wearing like the same outfit. Like, you're both wearing the blue and
And we
gold.
both have
Like,
X's on
you're
our clothes.
cool. You're cool
Yeah,
with each
we're
other.
cool.
Get over it. We see the X-Men split across time in the past and in the distant future. And it all points to my man Apocalypse. We're about to get into that whole ending, but any favorite moments you guys want to bring up from this episode? Like, you know, that really stood out to you, really made you pop? I mean, for me, it was like, obviously, Jubilee having like a good move, calling out the haters. Magneto going full Magneto and just being like, I'm alive again, suckers. I die all the time and keep coming back.
But I'm back. Oh, Phoenix, of course, right? Like seeing Jean and Phoenix was dope.
Oh, yes, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
favorite moment is when Bastion
I knew it.
takes over that arm.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna
It
say when
was-
Bastion
Muscles
starts
up and
talking,
wings
just
out.
in general.
In general.
Yeah.
When he takes, he ripped off that arm, beat him with it, and I said, "What is he gonna do with this?" And he goes, oh, "Let me just take some of that future tech, incorporate it into my DNA," and he just got those sharp ass wings and then like a 12-pack immediately.
Oh, yeah.
If
And
I had a cyber body, I'd have a 12-pack too.
Well,
So
The wings are
no
flat.
shade,
it's like
no
a
shade.
naked Ultron, and I was like, because he had like a 12-pack, but then he also had the like cut,
Like
and
the
I was
V?
like,
Yeah,
and I was like, why are you giving this robot?
Ultron was always naked. Ultron had like those metal cheeks.
Oh, that's right.
Those
That's
little
right.
round
Yeah,
metal
yeah.
cheeks.
But yeah, I really
The,
loved
the
that
wings are
animation
great
of
because they're
Bastion,
like
yeah.
they're not functional at all. They're just purely aesthetic wings.
Yeah, and they're
Like,
sharp
just
as
look
hell.
Badass. That is like, as a kid, any action figure that had like wings. I mean,
Oh, yeah, that was the one.
In.
Yeah.
Had a Sauron. Had Gargoyles action figures.
Gargoyles.
Had
yes.
Archangel action figures. Bastion. Great stuff.
My favorite part for sure was the Scott and Jean talking to Gable, that psychic goodbye.
Yeah.
Although now, not as good with no psychic waitress, now that you mentioned. Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
he had psychic
Or
waitress.
psychic
yeah.
pancakes.
A guy,
Psychic pancake, yeah,
you know,
psychic
the old chef
coffee.
in the back being like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Angela, pick
Psychic
it up, got
bell.
2 atoms and each on a map."
Yeah, where's the chef that's hitting on the waitress or hitting on the line cook that's hitting on everybody?
Yeah.
Hey, girl, come over here.
And the guy at the counter who goes there every day just sits there for like 4 hours.
Yeah,
yeah.
and Madam Webb's there with the 3 girls. They're
Oh,
also
they're
there.
dancing on the table to
Yeah.
Britney Spears.
Minus a point for no Madam Web
Yeah,
connection.
no
in this
Madam Web
episode.
connection. Where was Madam Web? Well, we're going to get into all our big questions from the episode, but first we want to thank our sponsors today, including Marvel Move. Marvel Move is a fitness app with immersive audio that makes you feel like you're running, walking, or jogging through your very own MCU film. As some of you folks may know, I've been trying this bad boy out. A little bit of a couch potato myself. But they got a great little like couch to 5K program with Loki and Thor. They train you over 8 weeks. You get up to running. And you know, Zach Huddleston's around the office. He's always talking like a lot of smack. He's always like, "Oh, I'm faster than you." Not anymore. I'm going to beat Zach Huddleston in a 5K. If you see him, tell him that. He's a jerk and he needs to be put in his place.
No, because you eat actual food. Zach just eats like garbage.
No, he doesn't eat garbage. He eats
No,
pure
it's
protein.
like-
Does he
It's-
eat garbage?
no, he
He's
eats
like
like
apple
compost.
connoisseur. Oh, I see what you're saying.
He
Natural garbage.
Jessica's like he eats garbage. It's all natural foods.
Yeah, organic. It's
Vegetables,
natural,
eggs.
vegan.
But he blends it all together.
Yeah,
and
it's just
eats
a
it with
mat.
spoon.
It's like what you would
What?
feed a bunch of livestock.
Yes.
It's just general slop. But I'm gonna beat him in a 5K. You'll see. And that's all thanks to Marvel Move. If you're entirely new to running like me and need a little structure and guidance, your Marvel Move subscription includes that Thor and Loki 5K training program I was telling you about. It's an 8-week long program, 3 runs a week, very doable. That whole program has 12 hours of audio, drama, plus you'll get new workouts weekly with stories from A-list writers like Teenie Howard and Jerry Duggan, plus more series and new characters arriving in summer 2024. They got a whole bunch of programs. They got one program that's like your mutants, you're running through the portals of Krakoa, all that kind of stuff. Very fun. They've got Hulk stories, they got Daredevil stories, all kinds of stuff. Download the ZRX app on iPhone and Android to try Marvel Move for 1 week for free. When you're ready to dive in, head on over to zrx.app/newrockstars and use coupon code NEWROCKSTARS at checkout for 50% off your first order. We also want to thank Doomlings. If you're looking for a new game to play that's easy to pick up, super fun, and has ton of replayability, you got to try Doomlings. Doomlings is a card game for 2 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, that takes 5 minutes to learn. All the rules are on the cards themselves, so it's super easy to pick up and play. You're just trying to score the most points before the end of the world by playing cards from your hand called traits, which have these super fun, whimsical characters on each one that have a cutesy Pokemon feel to them. The classic Doomlings game has everything you need to play, and there's also a deluxe edition which has the game plus 5 expansions with advanced mechanics, a playmat, and 3 mystery holo foils. You can get Doomlings in retail stores like Walmart or Target, but if you scan the QR code right there, click the link in the description, and use code Rockstars20, you'll get 20% off your order at Doomlings.com. Evan and Zach will be playing Doomlings live on the stream this Friday, so check it out on Twitch. If you're not following us on Twitch, do it. And finally, we want to thank nerdriot.shop. We've got a ton of great X-Men inspired designs in the shop right now. We got our Gambit Remember It shirt. You're going to need that because you got to keep remembering him because he's still dead. We also have our Deadpool and Wolverine shirts, including a red band version of this shirt. We also have some Breakroom merch live on the site right now. You've seen us wearing on the show. Now you can get some for yourself. Grabbing merch is the best way to support the channel. And there's tons of great designs on there right now. So check it all out over at nerdriot.shop. Ooh, wow!
Incredible.
Okay, Evan, let's get into that ending. It looks like the X-Men are staring down the barrel at Apocalypse in 3 different timelines. In Egypt, 3000 BC, no toilets. Rogue, Nightcrawler. That's the problem they're going to deal with.
3000 NT. No toilets.
No toilets.
No toilets, yeah.
Rogue, Nightcrawler, Magneto, Xavier, and Beast encounter in Sabanur, a.k.a. Apocalypse. You can tell by his cute little blue lips. I mean, surely they clocked that. Even if they don't know who En Sabanur
who else
is.
has those?
They're like,
yeah.
I recognize those tasty blue lips. In the future, specifically 3960, are we still using calendars then? Give it up, folks. Cyclops and Jean encounter Mother Askani and Clan Askani, but more importantly, a cute little baby boy, adolescent Nathan with his cute little metal hat.
And both arms.
And both
Thank
arms.
God.
Oh.
Thank God.
You think they're like, hey, watch out for that arm. I hope the next season is all just like Nathan being like, I gotta stick my hand in the wood chipper. And they're like, no.
Or somebody being like, hey, Nathan, I'm going to give you this arm. You just want to rip off your old one.
Nathan, can you help me chop down this tree in the backyard? No. And in the present day, Apocalypse visits Genosha a little too late, where he collects a Queen of Hearts card and says, so much death, with a little cute smile with his blue lips. And of the time-traveling people that we saw, where are Storm, Morph, and Logan? They are missing to time. We don't know where they are. Let's break this all apart. Okay, starting with the past. These X-Men have faced Apocalypse before in the animated series back in the 90s. So go back and rewatch all those episodes so you can know everything about it. But we're pretty sure they don't know that his name is in Sabanur. Okay, we know that they're aware, or at least Jubilee and Beast, I believe, are aware that like Apocalypse has to go to a Lazarus chamber to like revitalize himself. They know he's been alive for a long time, but I don't know if they know about in Sabanur.
There was an episode in the old series of his origin, right? Was it contained? Or maybe,
that's what we're
contained,
thinking.
kind of like the
I don't know
Sinister one. Or in terms
I don't
of
know what the
around?
audience knows, as opposed to what the X-Men know.
Right.
But in theory, like, do you think Xavier would be able to just like pop into his mind real fast and just check in on who this dude is?
I was gonna say, well, if he's checking in at the young Apocalypse who hasn't done any of this stuff yet, maybe not. Yeah, it depends.
Right. I don't know if
here's another blue lip guy.
Yeah. But this guy would probably be aware of his abilities and powers.
True.
This is interesting. And maybe, I don't know if like people's brains have like a psychic smell, where he's like, oh, I know this.
Psychic echoes.
Yeah, I know this psychic fingerprint. This is Apocalypse, you know what I mean? Or this person would become Apocalypse in the future.
Psychic smell. It's like cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
It's definitely Apocalypse.
Definitely Apocalypse. Stinks like his house.
Blood and cheese.
Oh no, we can't talk about that. Not yet. A couple more weeks and we can talk about that. Yeah, he might do that. I mean, the seal has been broken for Xavier at this point. He did the unthinkable. He busted into Magneto's mind kind of without his consent, right?
Yeah.
Something he was like, I can't do that, but he did it. So now I think, now that they're in these dire straits, I could see him being like, let's just check in on this dude real fast. See who.
Yeah, I think it'll be weird if next season they're just like, hey, here's a young he happens to be the first mutant. Let's just help him out.
Yeah, I don't want a long drawn out thing
Right.
of dramatic irony where the audience is very well aware of who
Right.
this dude is, but these morons.
And then they end up being friends or helping them out or whatever that is. Yeah. No.
But in theory, they can't change anything in the past.
Or can they? Because that's what this whole show is. They're always going. It's like, remember Bishop said in the first episode, it's always rewriting, flipping back a few pages, changing it.
But if
so who knows?
they're trying to change this past that far back, it could affect them.
It could, totally. Maybe it's Absolute Point?
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows? But yeah, that's a good point. Like they're always changing and adding stuff, because like Cable obviously never grew up with his parents, but we see in this that now there's going to be a future or a type of future where he does,
right,
with Gene and Scott there. So yeah, I think it gives the writers, carte blanche to like just come up with whatever they want, whatever version of events and story. And
them having these like kind of different times and different versions of Apocalypse makes me feel like, yeah, the way to stop Apocalypse is like fighting him across time.
But I almost feel like you step on one, I was gonna say butterfly, but they're in the desert. Scorpion. They step on one scorpion, and now Genosha maybe didn't get destroyed, right? Like, there's so many things that you could point to. So I'd be interested to see how this ties together with, are we gonna be seeing Scott and Gene's future changing every 5 seconds whenever they take another step?
That episode in the 90s, One Man's Worth, where like a future Storm and Wolverine that are married go to the past to like, stop Nimrod and all that, which kind of sets off all these events into motion. But that version of Wolverine and Storm like disappear.
Right, yeah. They're
like, once we take off our time bands, we'll be lost to time.
Right.
So yeah, this could kind of rewrite things in a way, but the fact that they've done some time traveling maybe shields them. I don't know.
Right.
We'll find out. So that's the past. Let's talk about the future. Okay, we've got Clan Askani living in the future. They're in the future dedicated to uphold the Xmen beliefs. These people are like fighting Apocalypse, and they're raising a young Cable who got dropped off in their future doorstep. There's also an element of Rachel Summers at play here. Now Rachel Summers, you might recognize the last name, is the daughter of an alternate timeline version of Jean and Cyclops in like a dystopian future, who play a part in, and Rachel Summers like kind of plays a part in founding Clan Askani and becomes Mother Askani, who we think that this is who we're seeing in the show here. Mother Askani also says, quote, you're a long way from Crestcoast, which is the city where Apocalypse's citadel is located in the future. So making some references to the comic books. Now, will Rachel Summers come into play here, or do you think this is just like another divergent storyline? Because Rachel Summers like goes on in the comics. She comes back in time and like exists amongst the mutants and like is part of the X-Men for a while. Do we think that they're going to try and pull her in here, or do you think they're just going to tell this story and leave her in the future done and done?
I think, well, we've already seen Rachel Summers in the show. Like, there was that image of, was it Bastion or someone from the showing a future where mutants are being used to rebuild the world, and they show an older Polaris. They showed an older Rachel Summers.
With the stripes.
She was the one
like
with those marks on her face like that. So, yeah, I think that they're definitely setting her up for something where she can come back and be a big part of the show and add another Summers to the Summers family tree, I guess.
Yeah, because they could be setting up a scenario where they do wind up back at their normal time, but also Cable is there and Rachel Summers is there, like a young Rachel Summers. Though I don't know how they're gonna find her, because this is like an older Rachel Summers.
Maybe maybe she's born in the future, and when Jean and Scott go back, they
like bring the baby back.
That means who knows?
I don't know.
Actually,
I don't know.
I got lost myself mid-conversation about how this time travel works.
Do you find a lot of this confusing, Jessica?
No, I'm very.
Well, I know you haven't read as much as like the comic stuff.
No, I'm very interested in how you guys are talking about it because I have no idea.
Yeah, it makes me wonder from a perspective of like people who like maybe love the X-Men and have enjoyed the shows and the movies, but haven't read as much of the comics. Like, they find this kind of like stuff confusing. Because I remember as a kid reading some of these storylines with all the time travel, I was like, what the?
I think this is very confusing for someone that doesn't know X-Men.
Right.
Because I still know the X-Men. I just didn't watch a lot of the original series. But it is absolutely 100% confusing to someone that doesn't.
Yeah.
Because they'll just hear that name and be like, oh, I don't know who the hell that is.
Yeah.
Even just like, I was trying to think, like, we were talking about it before the show too. I was like, in a vacuum, if you don't know anything about X-Men and you're trying to come into the show, imagine seeing Jean become the Phoenix. Like, you've heard them say it, but you're not necessarily going to pick up the few times they've mentioned the Phoenix, or maybe make the connection in the intro for those 2 seconds that that's Jean. So like when she comes out of the water and she's like a fire person, I could imagine not knowing, being like, huh? because the show had to do a lot of heavy lifting to bring back old fans, introduce new fans, sell a new story. Yeah, continue the last 5 seasons from the 90s. Yeah,
it's still very wholeheartedly charged by the fandom.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty hard for someone that doesn't know X-Men to watch this. I think you can watch it and still be entertained and know loosely what this is, but if you don't know any X-Men characters and you're like, oh, I heard the show's really good, I'm gonna watch it, you're gonna be kind of confused by a lot of things, especially like Xavier just showing up. Like, and then you're gonna be like, wait, one of them already died? What's going on?
I'm sure the people who watch us do the same thing as us, but like, you know, for the people in your life who don't know it, you're the one with the remote being like, okay, pause. Okay, this is that person. And that, okay, ready? And then this is that person, and they're together like this, and that's the daughter. Yeah.
Even people that are fans like me, I'm sure there's a million of us that are after that finale are looking up like, who the hell is this person?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because this show is always, even, you know, not just X-Men 97 version, but the original series was taking these like comic book storylines that are told across numerous issues, condensing them sometimes to one episode, and like eliminating characters, but also just like in the show they would just have characters show up with no explanation. Like, I don't know who this person is.
Who the hell is that?
And then they would just be gone again. You're like, okay, I guess if I really want to know, I'll go read a comic book. But
it's fun because the show gets to pave their own path and also borrow and pick from the best stuff. So
I think,
so if you know, like if you see Apocalypse picking up that card, you're like, oh snap, you know. Like,
this one season addressed like Operation Zero Tolerance, E is for Extinction, Fatal Attractions, like a ton of different storylines. They reorganized the order of events for some things. They simplified a lot of things. Like I think Bastion's kind of origin makes way more sense here.
Oh yeah,
trying to explain like the siege.
Oh my gosh, that
and, like all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, he just appeared. Like this makes a lot more sense that like 2 humans fucked, and then apologies to the.
But a robot first
ratings.
took over the.
Yeah, but a robot was inside this man.
Inside
he had a
the
robotic STD.
Like that makes
he gave it to the
so
woman,
much more sense.
and their child was born with this robotic, sexually transmitted.
For a split second, did you guys think that Xavier lied to the X-Men and then maybe he didn't try to take Bastion? Because there was a part where he's like, when Xavier came and my mother begged him to take me, I thought it was going to be like, Xavier's not a perfect person. Maybe he lied to the team and maybe
maybe he's still lying about that and they keep saying like, no,
he did it. He did it.
And Xavier's over there like, I'm in Eric's mind. I can't.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the problems with Xavier being in the show is he's such a saint. He's so perfect. So having him brought back, I thought it might have made the show not as strong. But then having him be, having him make mistakes would have been interesting. So for a second, I thought that's what they were going to do.
I think the reason why I was okay with him coming back was immediately no one trusted him.
Yeah.
And because I was
they're
like,
mad at him.
I was like, everybody has to hate him for a different reason, and they all did.
Yes.
Cyclops was like, that wasn't your choice to make. Magneto was like, you went and got married, had sex while my people were dying on a planet, and now you're back. Like, I was very happy at how much everyone was mad.
And this, him doing this to Charles, which leads to the character of Onslaught, which it seems like they might be doing that here. That's one of those moments in the comics where you're like, oh, Xavier's like, he's not perfect.
Yeah.
The Fox universe has gone a long way to like present Charles as like this very smart, doesn't make huge mistakes type character. But the comic books, he does some wild stuff every now and then that like has big consequences. Like Legion being another example of like him not raising his own son and stuff. So it's like these kind of things showing up in the animated series is fun. And I hope that this moment is kind of the beginning of like Charles's like slip ups and big mistakes that the team have to learn to go around and cause great schisms, and at one point like put Charles and Scott on like opposite ends.
Maybe that's gonna be one of his mistakes next season. Is halfway through they're gonna be friends with this En Sabanur guy, and then when he breaks bad, Charles is like, by the way, he is Apocalypse.
I knew the whole time.
You knew the whole time.
That was also what I was getting kind of mad at with how their grouping was. I was like, well, they're quickly gonna figure out this guy's bad. It's gonna take wherever Storm and
this is the OPT. They got the smartest guy, Beast. They got Omega level Magneto and Xavier.
Fine.
And they got Rogue.
The Cyclops has Jean.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They're fine. Yeah, but then I'm like, literally, Storm has to wrangle Morph and Logan.
Yeah, and unconscious right now, Logan, who's like, she's like, what am I gonna do with these two guys?
We never talked about it. We probably won't ever talk about it. But that ending with Morph, when they were like, Jean can't say this, but I can.
Oh yeah,
I love you. I was like.
Just say it, Morph.
No, I was because Logan's bad and he's a stupid idiot. I'm sorry. Continue.
Well, all this time travel going on, let's talk about it a little bit. Remember, a few episodes ago, Cable described the utopia that Bastion had created, right? this future, although seemingly on the outskirts of a city, looks much different. Now, we're seeing, I think the future Cable was kind of describing was maybe not like in the 39s. It was maybe like a little more immediate.
The 28s.
The 28s
I was gonna
somewhere.
say 36s.
Yeah, more like Bishop's time. But, seeing the future that Scott and Jean wind up in, do you think that has been changed by the actions that they did there? Is this like a different future? Or is this kind of the idea that like the future is like inevitable, no matter the roads taken to get there, it will always kind of look similar?
I agree with what Tom said earlier, that they might be doing stuff that does directly affect where Jean and Cyclops are currently. Okay. So I feel like if this answers what you were saying, what we're seeing right now is going to keep changing.
Yeah, like things will keep changing while they're there.
Because I feel like it's not, time is non-linear and linear.
Sure.
But it's like, if you directly do something here, it's going to cause something in the future.
And the comic books had a thing, the original series kind of established, I was talking about this earlier, with the time bands, that like, if you travel through time, you were aware of the changes that were happening.
Right.
But once you kind of like removed the time band and like, the time would reset you where you needed to be.
Right. And if that's nowhere, then you're reset it to
right.
Yeah.
You don't exist anymore.
What's interesting is it seems like this show, just even from the old one, is their approach to time is almost like these times are different places to visit, and that sometimes it might affect where you are, and sometimes it might not. Right?
Yeah.
Like yes, when Storm and Wolverine from the alternate future came back and saved Xavier, like. That obviously happened still because Nimrod had to go into Bastion's dad and then, do all that. But Xavier doesn't talk about, did Xavier get his mind wiped? Like, he doesn't talk about a young Wolverine and an alternate Wolverine and ultimate Storm coming and saving him, right? Maybe
I think it's more that he just knows he can't talk about that.
Maybe, yeah. I don't
like,
remember.
I can't talk about this stuff that happened in my past.
Yeah, but I think what they'll be able to do is like, maybe when Scott and Jean eventually come back, Cable will be like, hey, I'm not as mad anymore.
It is
remember you guys like took me and we played softball the other day, you played catch outside? Yeah.
Maybe it is implied at the end of that One Man's Worth episode, once that version of Storm and Wolverine disappear, then they're back in present day, and Xavier sees Storm and Wolverine, that version, having a picnic or whatever, and in his mind he's like, if they only knew what could be. The idea that he's aware of what happened, but he kind of keeps that secret.
Sure.
This kind of exists in the X-Men, the Fox X-Men timeline too, where the idea is that after the events of Days of Future Past kind of fix the timeline and they live on, Charles Xavier and Wolverine know what they did, what was changed, but nobody else does.
Right.
They're able to recall that stuff. So I do think that this show will kind of establish that in some way, that like these characters who were displaced by time will be allowed to remember what was real and what they changed, and then whatever results come of that, we'll have to see. So no matter what the show does with these storylines, like based on the source material, it does seem like everything's kind of pointing to Apocalypse, which only feels natural as the next season's big bad. They've teased him a lot this season. They've shown him in the intro. Now he's finally shown up. It looks like he's going to get into his recreating, the Four Horsemen, which he loves to do. It's his favorite thing to do.
Loves those horsemen.
What are we hoping to see from Apocalypse next season? Like any big things?
I'm hoping we'll get the Cyclops merging with Apocalypse. There was a time in the comics where Cyclops
sick.
And I think he did that to save Cable too. He's been doing
so
a lot.
long.
He's been doing a lot. He loves that kid. But he did that as some sort of a sacrifice, if I recall. But yeah, him merging with Apocalypse, that'd be really cool. I think we're gonna see Onslaught. They've been teasing him a lot.
Onslaught
I was
is
waiting. I was waiting for them to
lead.
be in Magneto's mind and for him to be like beware the onslaught.
I'm glad.
Something
I'm glad
like
it
say some
happened.
word. Yeah, I'm glad it didn't because there was so much happening already.
I thought it would have ended with Onslaught, but I understand why it's like now we're doing Apocalypse. I almost said Academy. I'm so tired.
Well, that was, which I think is smart. They kind of did it this season, right? We knew Mr. Sinister was going to be in the show.
Yeah.
We knew he'd be like a big bad, but they didn't. They kind of hid who Theo James was playing.
Right.
And Bastion was like a big surprise. And Sinister was still a villain. So I love the idea that like they're dealing with Apocalypse, and while that's going on, hey, I'm Onslaught. Nice to meet you.
Also,
gonna destroy everybody.
Mr. Sinister's still alive. He's
Yeah,
just there.
this is an old girl.
I gotta go find me Leech or some other equally weaker mutant to dissect.
Gonna have to cut up a lot more mutants.
yeah. Jean didn't really think about that when she let him.
Spilled my DNA everywhere. Now I gotta cut up some new ones.
Still got knives and their syringes. And all that.
Joke's on you, bitch. I'm gonna go cut up some more mutants.
Well, and they could establish that like Sinister's the like cloning facility he built under the orphanage where like Havoc and Scott were, like that could still be real.
Yeah.
Exist. I don't know where his little base was. I don't know if that's what they were saying.
Oh, with his like his
goo machine
Transylvania castle.
Yeah. That might have been that thing. I don't know.
Right.
So we'll have to see.
Sinister. I love that.
Yeah.
I love the Sinister still going around just dissecting people.
That was great in that episode 3.
Hold on, I can't get to it. I gotta put the stained glass in, and then I can cut you up.
Like when they're in episode 3 when Morph's like, I know where he is, and then they cut with like bats flying across the screen, like you're just there, like you hear the organ playing. Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta light the candles before I can do the surgery. Gotta set the mood.
He would put on candles.
And he has this big pot of like soup that he's like stirring.
I gotta get one of those old timey metal things
that
doctors
dish.
used to wear on their heads. Isn't that cute?
He definitely still has that. He's from the 1800s. Yeah.
Okay, lastly, there's some X-Men who weren't accounted for, and that's Storm, Morph, and Logan. They're likely somewhere else in time. But let's take a quick look at Forge's board, where there's also kind of missing some other important mutants. So I think we have that graphic. Okay, so we have this board. This is obviously this is very similar to the Days of Future Past cover that most people know, where it's like has mutant faces and they're covered up. Yeah. We kind of had a tease of that earlier this season in the Motendo episode. But on this board here,
Enhance.
They're missing a lot of people.
Enhance. They have Colossus not.
Yeah, I can't see.
Yeah,
so
Colossus
on
Magic and
Iceman's
Frost.
around.
Yeah, Colossus appears to be found. Iceman, Havoc appears to be found. Exodus is down there on the bottom. On the far right's Emma Frost.
Yeah,
Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
Kitty Pryde is there.
She's
Someone
there.
who's not shown up yet. Yeah, it looks like Magic on the far right. I don't know who
Is that Dusk?
Oh, Dusk.
I think
yeah.
that's her name.
So in the top right there, you have Jubilee and Roberto da Casa, now Sunspot. What does it say on their things? I can't see. AWOL. It says AWOL.
Yeah, they probably dipped. They're probably like, I'm
yeah.
fucking
Well, they were with Forge on Earth, so they're
It also
probably
says
like, we need a
Cable.
vacation, okay? Like, give us a second. Yeah.
And Cables also says AWOL.
Yeah. Like, they don't know where some of these people are, obviously. But, Jubilee and Sunspot were like on the ground. They were not on the asteroid.
Right. They're together.
It disappears. So they're probably like, I'm out of here.
I also like that.
Roberto's like, I got a trust fund. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's also Forge calling them AWOL
Yeah.
because he's also a military man. So he's like, they're AWOL. Watch Jubilee be like, you know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You have my pager
I just
number,
told you I
okay?
don't want to come back because I am literally triggered. I am traumatized.
They're like, Forge, you could literally invent a machine that could find us.
Yeah.
You just have to think about it.
Yeah.
He said, I was only thinking about Storm. And
only thinking about Storm.
There's a little mannequin of Storm behind him.
He's built a little robot
Yeah.
Storm.
Like, all I can think of was Storm.
He's like,
Storm.
ever since she
Good
left,
to see you, Forge.
I can't eat chili anymore now that she's gone.
All I
Oh,
keep thinking about is
Feed me
goddamn
chili,
chili.
that was our chili.
Make me your mother's
Every time
chili
I see an
again,
owl, no, Aurora.
Bishop's like, why does the robot Aurora only bring up chili and
Why,
owls?
why is she wearing a bikini?
Yeah.
Forge, what's wrong with you?
I'm alone. I'm sad.
Let's go ride horses, Forge. I want to
Every
ride
doll
as fast as I can.
shaves a mohawk into every doll head.
Why was I built, Forge? Will I die?
Can I love?
Can I love Forge?
In the comics, Wolverine does eventually get his adamantium back. It's rebonded by Apocalypse. Interesting. And he becomes one of the Horsemen. He becomes Death. But it looks like Gambit is going to be the Horseman.
also
Will be
Death at one point,
right?
yeah.
Everyone wants to be Death. That's the best.
Nobody wants to be
Horseman
pestilence.
I want to
Special
be the
spirit.
one that's just like carrying a dish.
Carrying a dish. Carrying
There's
a
one,
pie.
they all carry different things, but one is not carrying a weapon. It's just like,
Oh, that's famine, right? Is it
I think it is
usually?
famine.
It's an empty dish.
And I'm
It's an
like,
empty dish.
hello. I'm also one of the horsemen.
Just carrying around
Hello?
what Zach eats, just all this
Yeah.
organic garbage.
I'm
Be like, eat
I
that.
blended this gray mess for you.
You got a dish. It's got a cloche on top, and you're like, that.
Is that what that's called?
It's nothing.
It's called a cloche.
I did not know that. Cool.
I believe it's called.
Are you
a cloche.
surprised that he knows all these weird things?
Actually, I'm not
He-
surprised.
told us about a meteorite and a meteor.
They're different things.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just whichever one you wanted to say.
Also, don't ever say you got electrocuted, because electrocution means death by electric shock. Anytime you're just shocked, you're just getting shocked.
What if I got electrocuted?
Then you'd be dead.
But I'm not dead.
Then you have not been electrocuted.
Okay.
Oh, it's like saying, "Oh, I drowned."
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
Well, yeah, but you're actually dead when you drown.
But sometimes,
you gotta be
drowning.
sometimes people can bring you back, and then you're so maybe you did
Then
get
you
electrocuted.
get drowned.
Boom in his face. Jeff.
You died. You drowned.
Got him.
Okay, so I've been electrocuted, just so you
Okay,
guys
great.
know.
Okay. Whoa. Glad you're back.
Thank you.
So do you, with Wolverine and the adamantium, which I guess it's was it just left on the ground? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
How do you think they're gonna get Wolverine his adamantium back in this show? Because guess what, folks? No one wants Bone Claw Wolverine. That's
No.
not gonna last long.
No.
How do you think do you think it will be Apocalypse to bond it back? Will they find a different way to give him his adamantium back?
Well, he's with Storm and Forge, so we don't know where the hell he is. So can
Storm and
Apocalypse...
Morph. We
Sort
don't
of
know.
morph. Yeah.
So do we even know if Apocalypse is there?
We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Apocalypse exists kind of throughout time, right?
Right.
So wherever they appear, there's probably a version of Apocalypse there.
Oh, okay.
I was saying earlier, maybe they're at the end of time where also Apocalypse was. There was an episode at the end of season 4, which was supposed to be the season finale, where Apocalypse was at the end of time and he was collecting psychics to take over the world, whatever.
Classic.
Yeah,
Classic
classic. So I was thinking, like, where would they be in another place that we know Apocalypse is, and that's part of the show? That's like maybe they're there. I don't know, but yeah, Apocalypse has to be the one to bring it back because
Right.
not only is it established in the comics, but they've already put these places together and these people together in the show to do it.
Yeah, if they're in the past and the other ones are in the future, the current is probably when Apocalypse is coming and turning into
True.
Cito,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
they were on the
watch it be
Blackbird,
like 20 years
But the Blackbird
later.
was in the Meteor M.
They were all on, the
Didn't
M.
explode
Yeah, the M
rock.
on the M Rock.
Well, it just disappeared. It didn't like.
But they were on the
explode.
Blackbird, but the Blackbird was parked. In
Oh,
the
Yeah.
you
The
think
Blackbird was parked in the
Storm
as opposed to
and
it
Morph are in the
teleported, they just
Blackbird?
flew away.
I think they're at the part where Apocalypse is arriving. They have to be, or
they stayed in, like,
or
kinda
at
current
least,
day.
yeah, because they have to be in the current. Watch it be again, like as a joke. It's 20 years, and they're like, we need to go find Forge to come bring back your adamantium back.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Forge is like old and sad and withered somewhere, hiding in a hole.
Maybe they got sent to like the Victorian times. That'd be cute.
That'd be horrible.
Oh, like in What If?
Storm
16?
again. Storm would not be having good times.
Depends on where in the world she is.
True.
That is
true.
also true,
Could
but.
also be by herself too. We don't know, right? Storm,
Yeah.
Logan, and Morph. They could all.
They could be
separate.
separate.
Yeah, actually,
places.
wait a minute. We should be very afraid for Storm and Morph wherever they are in time because they could be in very horrible times for them. Logan
Maybe-
will be fine, regardless.
he'll be
He is a
fine.
man that's hairy.
And can heal. Yeah.
And he can heal. He'll be fine. Even if he's knocked down in the middle of the street, he will be fine. But Storm, you better not be in
Storm and
1902.
Morph. Yeah, right. Maybe they're in Wakanda healing up, and she's gonna meet Black Panther.
That
We're
is
gonna
true.
go that route. Maybe
If they're in Wakanda, they'll be fine.
they'll be
Yeah,
fine.
whatever
I'll-
time they
trying to
wound
think,
up,
where
Storm
would they
should be
be
like,
okay?
I know where we should go.
Yeah.
I got a place.
Then you'll hear. Yeah, then you'll hear that, and then they will cut to.
If she's in Egypt, they'll be like, Queen, look at this beautiful woman. So maybe that was not
She'll
an
make it
accent
rain.
for Egyptians. That was just, yeah, oh my God. Could you imagine back Egypt? She makes it rain. They're like, this woman is a god.
Hey, man, never mind this blue lip guy. Let's follow
go
her.
for it.
Rogue
Yeah.
showed up and picked some dudes up flying through the air. You don't think they were like, whoa, check it out.
What if,
They saw Beast and they saw Nightcrawler. They're like, who do we look at?
Yeah.
Everyone's amazing.
What if they're in current day Egypt and they see hieroglyphs of Rogue flying in, ripping Magneto above everybody? They're like, oh fuck. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Here we go.
Here we go again. And then Moses is over on the side and he's like, I made snakes out of my cane. And they're like, get out of here. We got a flying lady.
Yeah, we got a flying lady.
But the frogs will come. And they're like, get out of here. We got a lady who makes it rain.
I mean, that could be. I would love to kind of see that. I don't think they're gonna
Ooh, they
play it
fight
out,
Moses?
but
That would be cool
I would
as
love to see.
hell,
Stop it! I would love to see that. I would love to see kind of play out how Eternals were like they were like Athena, and it's like it's just Athena. Like, please stop that. Like how these people did amazing creative things, and over time we just like turned them into
Ooh,
gods.
an Eternals cameo would be
That would be
very
cool.
interesting.
They're like, hey, get out of here. This is our job, and they're like, you're not really doing anything.
I thought you were saying for a second that the X-Men in the past would be responsible for everything happening in Egypt, how it was. Like,
Yes.
So first there's like that dome, and then now they're gonna be like, let's make it pyramids. It wasn't a dome. It was pyramids.
They're trying to get all the 7 wonders of the world back together or something.
Yeah.
Some some shit.
And then Nightcrawler had to teleport all those frogs in, and
The aliens come back and they're like, "Where's the dome we built?" We're like, aliens? We switched it to pyramids.
Well, I guess the mutants would be the aliens. The X-Men, they just showed up out of nowhere in the strange fucking clothes. Magneto's clothes, I'd absolutely be like, that's an alien.
Or Beast no clothes. Yeah.
And they're like,
Why is that guy naked?
He's in underwear.
they're like, future alien people, let us show you. This baby we found in a basket floating down the Nile River.
I love
We
that.
named him Moses.
The X-Men are bringing religion.
I want the
Yeah, they're
X-Men to
bringing
fight
Jesus.
Moses, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Moses
Part the
is
Red
like, we gotta
Sea.
get these people out of here.
Yeah.
We gotta get these people out of here. What if
And the X-Men are like, no, they stay.
Moses is Magneto.
Moses becomes
Magneto is gonna literally act as Moses, and they're
He's
gonna be
gonna
like
put some metal
Moses,
and-
and he's gonna be like, my name was Magneto, but Moses
Yeah.
is close enough.
Yeah, most Nito, yeah.
Finally, who or what made Asteroid M disappear in time?
I think
What do you think caused that to happen?
I think they're gonna choose it to be someone.
Yeah.
But I also was like, math-wise, I don't know math and I don't know science, so do not come at me. But something about the magnetic, the EMP,
Okay.
the pulse being taken to and then taken back so quickly.
Yeah.
And the Earth's magnetic pull, I think that some sort of science
like that.
made it like clash to be like, oh. And I think they'll probably, I think Bishop might have.
I like how the minute it disappeared, Jess was at home going, science.
I was like,
Science.
magnetic fields. If you propulse them into the future and then you put it backwards in reverse.
If you turn off the Earth's magnetic field and then turn it back on again, meteors that used to be asteroids will disappear and will teleport through time.
Please don't get it confused. A meteorite has already struck the ground. A meteor is still in the ground.
Yeah,
is
because
great.
A comet has a
comets have tails. But
This is great.
meteors.
You just rag on me and fucking tear me down, but look how much you've learned.
Also,
I
a
know,
chablis is what you
chablis.
call what's on top of a dish. What is it? I forgot what it is.
Cloche.
Cloche.
A chablis.
I was like, I don't
Is
even
it a
know.
Chablis?
A chablis is a type of alcohol.
Yeah, that's a liquor.
Close.
It's not quite a beer.
You serve it
It's not quite
with a
wine.
cloche and your food.
Yeah.
I hate you guys. But no, it's probably there's some science there.
Dude, there's some science. Like,
That is an interesting moment, and I'm wondering. It doesn't feel like it's Apocalypse is doing. It doesn't feel like it's Bastion or Onslaught. I'm wondering if it is some sort of outside cosmic force. Not that it would
Watcher,
be Phoenix.
Beyond-
Not
what
really
if
the
it's-
Watcher,
what
but
if
like
it's
if
also-
it is like the Beyonder
Yeah.
or like.
What if it's that, all of that power, and then, because they're also all using their powers at the same time.
Right.
And that mixed with it just like somehow
Yeah.
did some disturbance that
It made
shocked
like a
them
weird
in
little
different parts.
cocktail.
Because, I don't know.
plus with the core exploding.
You
maybe,
could-
or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, the gravitational cores.
I was like, you could add another person, or you could simply. It is hard to already say like, okay, you need these like 8 people to do the exact same thing again, while Magneto is using his.
This isn't the
pulse to
Flash.
To
bring-
recreate
Yeah,
this.
well,
yeah.
it is. It's like that. That's where I'm like, oh, they probably because it's like they can never get together and do that
Yeah.
again in,
So
in this
Bastion
portion of space.
at one point made like a black hole and was sucking in Sunspot and Rogue. Maybe this has to
that
do with
too.
the explosion of the meteor. It created a black hole that mixed with
through.
mixed with the Earth's magnetic poles being restarted. Science,
I know there's science.
and then
in-
science, right?
Science.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they would be able to orchestrate this because I think it's very tough to do these plannings with animation. I don't know how long it's going to take. But if there is something coming up in the MCU that it would explain this weird time thing that happens in live action with the TVA or something weird like that, I don't
that'd
know.
be cool.
I think that's too much. I think this show should kind of stay separate from
What
all
if it's
that.
like Franklin Richards, Doctor Doom,
Yeah,
and Onslaught's
yeah.
come in?
I mean, they
something?
showed Reed Richards, right? If
They
it is
did.
like a weird. When they showed up in Egypt, I thought it was gonna be like a Rama.
Oh, Ramatut.
Ramatut, like
I think they're staying away
Kang
from that.
thing.
for-
Yeah, I think that was
They're like,
Yeah.
we
But,
would have.
we would have. We would have.
Yeah, like 9 months ago, they're like, can we redraw that Ramatut statue and make it a dome now? Can we
Yeah,
do that
they
real
said
quick?
get rid of that pyramid.
We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
exactly. Make it a dome.
Well, this has been the final episode of X-Men 97 Season 1. Very excited for Season 2. But every week on this show, we assign our Student of the Week. And so I think it's time for the Student of the Year. Okay?
Student of the year.
They never had school in this show, but we're going to have the device. Wrapping up Season 1, who do you think really stood out this episode and really won the season overall? Who is your Student of the Season?
Student of the
year.
season.
Firstly, I just want to say my student of the week this week would have been Bastion. 100%.
Okay, I mean, I think he did a pretty good
Easy.
job.
That man
He's your student of the year.
took that arm, ripped it off,
Ripped it right off.
beat him with it, and then took it.
Knocked around.
But I think my student of the year, and this is based off, and I know, this is based off of purely like if as a teacher who has done the most.
Yeah.
The most as in like learned and also grew from their experiences.
Charles Xavier.
Jubilee.
Oh, did you?
You love this.
Jubilee
series.
had to
Saying
go
that 'cause
talk to
Brandon's
her.
here. You're saying that
No,
'cause
Jubilee
Brandon's
had to
here.
go talk to her
Thank you.
like non-real older self,
Yeah.
learned her powers, learned to be more of a part of the team, tried to get other people to follow the values of the team, and has always been there. And then at the very end, got to use her powers
Hell yeah.
and rip that wing off. Something that none of them could do. Rogue couldn't even do it. She just smashed him against a rock.
She swore off malls too.
Yeah.
My girl swore off malls.
Jubilee,
Wow.
I think, grew.
That's how much she's grown.
Yeah.
She has grown a lot through this season, and it's very hard to notice it. But every episode she's in, she changed.
Yeah.
She became something.
Beautiful.
Well, student of the week, we're still doing that for sure. For me, would be Beast.
Oh, okay.
When everyone,
Why?
hold on.
The
When
world's first
everyone,
actor.
What
when
reason?
everyone would be like, we have to work together to stop this asteroid becoming
he
a
was doing
meteor.
the work.
He was like
That is true.
typing, like clearing his browser history or something. Like, what were you typing so fast on the computer in '97 to stop this asteroid from crashing? We don't know, but he and he loves to take over those Sentinels. He loves to do all that
does.
stuff.
He's
So
good at
He's
that.
a great engineer.
he's a
Horrible
great,
doctor.
smart guy, horrible doctor, smart
Horrible
guy.
doctor, great engineer.
But of the season, I'm gonna have to go with my boy, Cyclops.
Yeah, Cyclops is
He when everybody was ready to beat the shit out of Bastion
Yeah.
and kill him rightfully, when no one would have batted an eyelash, he offered him an olive branch
Yeah.
and gave him a chance, which is something that Magneto couldn't have done. Maybe Xavier would have. We don't know. But
Yeah.
it just, in terms of like leading by example. And also showing the world and fans who don't know that Cyclops is cool, that he's a badass.
Right.
Even with that ugly skull cap. Yeah, that's...
Damn.
Bring back the Jim Lee suits. But that Cyclops for sure lived up to being the leader of the X-Men. And when he went toe-to-toe with Bastion too for that second, I was
he
like,
stood
here
up.
we go.
He stood up.
Here we go.
He's the father that stepped up.
Donna.
Student of the week is definitely Jubilee. Great work, Jubilee. Love to see it. Student of the year, man.
Yeah.
This has
We
been
got-
a real good show for Jean Grey.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was going to be the other one I was going to say.
Both her and Madeline Pryor had a lot of agency, really
Yeah.
took control of their actions, got past the extreme trauma they've been a part of, and had some power.
And
real
didn't
power.
faint.
Didn't faint once, dude.
They took that to heart, and they took Jubilee not fighting
Yeah.
to heart. They finally
Yes.
were like, you know what? We need to not make her
Yeah.
faint and make her fight and make her fart.
Make her fart.
They pointed at Storm. Storm said no. Storm said no.
I will not make wings.
Yeah.
Heed my fart. She goes, toot.
Exit my body. Yeah.
Intestines, heed my command.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Best person to fart though is probably Storm.
Yeah, she could
Make a
cover it up, bro.
tornado really quick and then go.
I was gonna say honorable mention to Morph for actually getting a story and some stuff
Yeah.
going on this season, because Morph was written to just be killed in the first episode.
Definitely. And they
know?
did redeem Morph in the original series a little
They
bit.
did,
And then
but I'm glad they got so much more to do.
They gave them more to do. I thought we would get more of a Morph story, but we
Yeah,
I
that's
wanted
true.
more
Morph
than
and-
just showing his Sinister's ugly face.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
Yes.
like, come on, kill him, stab him.
Yeah, I think I was missing, like, Morph definitely had, they had their moments in terms of turning into cameos, but everyone got a kind of moment except really Morph and Beast for me.
Season 2.
Yeah, season 2. Here we go, guys.
Let's
Season
go.
2.
Well, that's it for us today. Make sure to subscribe to the Breakroom channel right here on YouTube, and give us a follow on Twitch where we do these videos live, and you can chat with us and all that good stuff. Tom, where can they find you on the internet?
Find me at Tom on the mic on all the socials where, we can dance and drink wine, make love, all the good things that,
boy.
They were
mutants
making
do.
love.
Making love.
Dancing!
They said,
Making love!
this man
love.
is in the fetal position on the floor in front of me. I've been like, what are you talking about? What you talking about? Settle down.
You married this guy?
You guys
We just met.
screaming on the floor.
Screaming. We just met. I want to marry a bird, dude. I'm sick of the birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitch. We'll be doing tomorrow. We'll be live on Twitch doing a lingering questions episode about talking about X-Men '97, the whole season, what our questions going forward, where the hell is Mystique, all that good stuff. You can follow us at Breakroom NR on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. We'll catch you next time. Later, skaters. Goodbye. Bye.